Hello Econ 490, my name is Matt Shelley and I'm the Digital Instruction Librarian at Tribble Library. I just wanted to take a few minutes of your time to talk about some of the library resources that you'll have access to and that you might want to use for your assignments this semester. Before we get into the different resources, I just wanted to kind of form a hypothetical research topic that I'll use to just do a couple sample searches. And my hypothetical research topic is the impact of a nation's natural resources on its economic development. When doing research for a 400 level class in any subject, but especially econ, the library databases are going to be very valuable resources for your research. So the library has access to over 300 different databases across a wide variety of topics. 30 or more of those databases are dedicated to business and econ. And what you want to keep in mind is that a lot of the resources or a lot of the information, the articles that you find in the databases, you won't be able to find those articles anywhere else, meaning you won't be able to find those articles through a Google search. Or if you do find the articles, you won't be able to access them and read them. We pay a lot of money to subscribe to the different databases, and in effect, your tuition money goes to pay for the databases. And the reason that the databases charge such a high price is they have access to the articles in the various journals that the general public does not have access to. So you want to remember that. The databases are very useful in finding the best information, and for a 400 level paper or assignment, you want to keep that in mind. So to help kind of navigate the different databases that are available, you've got this guide here. This will be your guide that will stay up all semester, just solely dedicated to Econ 490. So trying to help you gather in one place the resources that will be helpful for you as you're doing your research. So I have a few of the databases up here, keeping in mind, again, there's over 30 that are just for business and econ. But some of the more popular ones, EconLit and JSTOR. So what I'll do is I'll take a look at EconLit. I'll open that up. It looks like this. You just have kind of what they call a basic search. And keeping in mind my hypothetical search topic, I'm just going to start with a basic search term of natural resources. Hit search. And I have 76,000 results. So I have a lot of results that are related to natural resources. Of course, I'll need to narrow it down a little bit, but this is a good place to start. So I have 76,000 articles, and you can see here over here on source types. So there's academic journal articles, there's books, working papers, dissertations, all different kinds of sources that the database will gather and give you access to. Now we're more interested in academic journal articles, so I'm going to check that box. That's going to narrow it down to just 52,000 results. But these are 52,000 academic journal articles, according to the database anyway. So then what you can do is you can just scroll through. Let's take a look at this first article. Does information break the political resource curse? Experimental evidence from Mozambique. So I click on the title. It gives me some more information so I can see the names of the authors. The source, so this is the name of the journal where the article was published, the American Economic Review. And it's a recent article, so November 2020, this is when it was published. You can see other publication information, the volume, the issue, the page numbers. A quick abstract, so a quick summary of the article. Now, if I actually want to read the article, what you'll do in the databases, and you may be aware of this being 400 level students, you may be aware of this, but you're looking for the full text. So in this case, in this database, on the left-hand side, they have PDF full text. So this is how I actually read the article. On this page here, this landing page, I can't actually read the article. What I have to do is one extra click, PDF full text. It opens up the PDF version of the article. So it's a 24-page article. I can scroll through and I can read the entire article I can download it, I can save it, whatever I want to do with it, but I have access to the entire full text article. And this, I'll come back to the idea of full text as we do a couple of different searches, because you'll see from time to time that as you find different results, different search results, you're not going to always have that link that says full text. But we'll come back to that. So in this case, this is the best case where we find an article, it looks interesting, I click on it, and I'm able to access the full text. This is a good case. This is the best case when you're searching the databases. So now while we're here, just kind of a side note, you'll notice, and this is something that as you're doing research, if you have a topic that you don't know much about as you start to do your research, you'll read various articles and sometimes you'll learn new terms, and you can use those new terms to kind of refine your search. So if I'm interested in natural resources and the effect on national economies or economic development, a term that may be useful here is resource curse. So whatever your topic is, you may come across the same situation where you learn new ways to describe your term or kind of new ways to describe your topic, and that will help you refine your search. So in this case, economists, when they think about this topic, they call it the resource curse sometimes. So I could take that phrase now and I could do more searching on just resource curse. Okay, I'm going to go back to our results. And what I'll do is I'll show you kind of a database trick that you can use. So we have our search term, natural resources. And we have to imagine as we're searching, there's going to be, in these results, there will be articles that mention the word natural. It mentions the word resources, but they're not actually talking about the term natural resources that we're looking for. It just so happens that those two words are somewhere in the article, and the database finds that article and it puts it in our results. What you can do to kind of limit those articles that aren't useful to you is very easy. You can just take your term in the search box and you can put it in quotation marks. So just beginning quotation and the end quotation surrounding your term, and you hit search. So let me choose academic journal articles again. And we went from 52,000 results to now we have 50,000 results. So it didn't change very much. We did eliminate a few, but there will be times when you have a different search term that's really specific. And if you're able to put it in quotation marks, it will help you a great deal, just kind of cut through all those junk results that show up in your search results. This is the basic search so far. I recommend as you're searching in the databases, try the advanced search. So here's the option that says advanced search. So the advanced search is different than the basic search, mainly because now I have multiple search boxes here. And I could add more if I want to. This plus sign, I could add more search boxes. And the thought process here is that now, rather than typing all of your terms into one box, what you would do with Google or what we just did with the basic search, the databases, sometimes it works better if you can take your search terms and you break it up into different search boxes. So in this case, I'm going to switch my searching, sticking with the same topic, but now I'm going to use the phrase resource curse. I'm going to put it in quotation marks to search for that exact phrase. And then in another search box, I'm going to put oil. So it's no different. I could just type it in the same box if I just had one search box. But in this case, with the advanced search, you just break up your terms, and hopefully it helps you narrow down your searching a little bit more. So I would hit search, and you can see I have 281 results. So it's a big difference. Even though we switched terms a little bit, still, now using the advanced search, multiple search terms, the difference between natural resource and in this search is night and day. So 281 results That's much more manageable than tens of thousands of results. And then on top of that, what I can do is I can still narrow down to academic journals, and it's 185 results. So it's a big difference. Now, let's take a look at what happens as I'm scrolling through my results. What happens when I find an article that I want to use, but it's not full text, or the full text isn't available? And that will happen. So you'll want to be aware of what to do in that situation. So the first article, it just so happens, before I click on it, down here they tell me linked full text. So the full text of the article is here. I already know that before I click on it. So that's normally that's a good sign. If I wanted to use that article, I could click on it, I could read the full text, and that's all I'd have to do. But that's not always going to be the case. So if I go down to the second result, it doesn't say full text, it says Journal Finder. And we'll learn more what Journal Finder means in a second. But for now, it doesn't say full text. So that's the most important thing for now. Result number 3 doesn't say full text. So you can see there's a number of articles here where it doesn't say full text. The full text of that article is not in this database. So they have an entry for the article. It gives me the title, the authors, the abstract, but the actual article is not here. So I'm going to scroll down, just looking at some other ones. Full text is not here. I'm going to go to the next page. Again, more articles without the full text. I'm going to take a look at this one. Rethinking the Conflict Resource Curse, How Oil Wealth Prevents Center-Seeking Civil Wars. So I have no idea if this article will be useful for my research or not, but it looks interesting, so I'll click on it. I can read a little bit more about it. This is the same as what we saw before when we had the full text, but the difference is on the left-hand side, it doesn't say full text. The PDF full text isn't here. And that's okay. You don't have to panic if you see that. You'll want to know what to do in this case, because this will make the difference between finding just the bare minimum amount of research or expanding your options and finding much more research. So if I click on Journal Finder, as the title would lead you to believe, this helps you find other databases where that journal that published the article that you're looking for, where that journal is available. So Journal Finder. So keeping in mind, this journal is called International Organization. Journal Finder gives me a couple different options. There's actually 2 journals with similar names. You can see that over here where it says journal title. I think what we want is the top result, International Organization. That looks like the exact match. And we have different options, so online, print, delivery, elsewhere. What we want is the online option. So I click on the laptop icon here, and it gives me some more options. So you can see this is a long list. And what we have here are source. So these are different databases that provide access to the journal that we're looking for, a number of different databases. And if you look beside that, you see full text begins, full text ends. So these are date ranges that the different databases give you access to for the journal. So for JSTOR, for example, this journal is available from 1947 through the end of 2016. So this can determine which of these options you want to choose. We have a 2016 article, so that would make our choice dependent on which of these databases provides access to this journal from the year 2016. So one of those options is JSTOR, and Journal Finder does us the favor. They turn the article, so we have the article title is repeated down the column here. They turn the article title into a link. So if I choose this option, so JSTOR, we see that here, and if I click on the article that corresponds with that, it's a link, and it should open up in JSTOR, and now I have access. This is the full text article. So just to recap, what I did is I had my original database, which was ECON Lit, which is totally different than JSTOR. I come across an article in Econ Lit, the full text isn't there, but Journal Finder, just with a few steps through Journal Finder, it allowed me to find the article in a different database. So I didn't have to just give up on this article if it's something that looked interesting to my research. I don't just have to give up. Just a few clicks, I'm able to just kind of transfer over to a different database and find the article that I'm looking for. So very, very useful. Again, if you don't use Journal Finder and you just stop every time that you're not able to find the full text, you're going to miss a lot of articles. So don't be afraid to use that Journal Finder option. Now, going back to our database and back to our results, let's see what happens. Let's try to find one of these articles that isn't in the database and is not available through Journal Finder. So let's go back to our top result here, asymmetric oil price shocks. I'll click on that title. This is from a journal called Economic Letters. We don't have the full text here, but we do have the link to Journal Finder, so let's try the link to Journal Finder. And this is what happens when now Journal Finder is telling me Economics Letters is not available in any of our databases. That journal is not available in any of our 300 databases. So this is what happens when you hit a dead end in Journal Finder. Now that's okay. That's going to happen too. That's going to happen fairly often as well, especially when you're doing higher level research. Just because CNU does not have access to every database or every journal that's ever been published. That would be way too costly. So we don't have access to everything. What you can do in this case is going back to our page. Normally you'll see somewhere on the page, in this case it's right below Journal Finder, you'll see ILL at CNU. So ILL stands for Interlibrary Loan. What that is it's a service that we have through the library. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, but you can request articles and books through the ILL service, and we will track them down at a different library. So in this case, we don't have access to this journal, but another library out there somewhere will have access to this journal. So we'll send in a request, they'll answer our request, and they will send us, usually they send us an electronic version of the article, and they send it to us fairly quickly, within a day or two usually. All you have to do is just put in the request. Doesn't cost anything, and we will fill the request and we'll get that article to you. And it also works for books as well, so you want to keep that in mind. So if I click on the link to ILL, it will ask me to log in. Once I log in, I'm presented with this form, and all I have to do is fill out the information. And a lot of times it's already filled out for you. So the name of the journal, the name of the article, the name of the author, everything that will help us track down this article, you'll want to fill it out. So the issue number, the page numbers, that's important. Once you do that, you click submit, and then we'll work on finding this article from a different library. So don't be afraid to take advantage of ILL. This could be a great resource. There's going to be articles that you come across in the databases that we don't have access to anywhere in any of our databases, but through ILL, that will greatly expand your reach and help you find much more research that you can use to make your paper or assignment better. So back to our guide, and you can see there's link to JSTOR as well. So we mentioned JSTOR. Here's a link to that as one of the other databases. We have some other links to different databases, some additional databases. If you have questions, we have a help tab at the top. Click the help tab. These are all of the different ways you can get in touch with us. We have a chat service, email, call us, whatever the case may be. We're going to be here to answer any questions that might arise as you're searching through the databases. We'll be glad to help you. Now, one thing I did want to mention. At the bottom of our front page here, we have off-campus access. So this semester, especially, this might be important. If you click on off-campus access, You want to keep in mind that sometimes when you're not on campus, whether you're at home or whether you're in your dorm room, you have to sign in to access the databases. So the databases are only available to CNU faculty, staff, students. They're not available to the general public. So we have to make sure that it's somebody related to CNU that's accessing the databases. So if you're having trouble clicking on the links in the databases or whatever, it may be because we don't recognize you as a student. So use this guide, just follow these steps, make sure you sign in, and that will help us recognize you as a CNU student, and you can access the databases very easily wherever you go. So just make sure, especially we'll all be doing remote work this semester, make sure you take advantage of the off-campus access option if you have questions. I'll leave it there for now. You have my contact information on the help page if you do have any questions. The guide will stay up all semester. Please feel free to contact me, and I hope you have a good semester. Thank you.